Coming at you with another top 3 Commander video where we talk about decks that place in the top 3 of our Commander League every month. We run a Commander League through our Patreon. If you're not familiar, it's supported by prizes from us. It's supported by prizes from Dragon Shield. You should definitely go check it out. There's a new theme every month. You play a game weekly and you can win prizes at the end of the month. Plus, it's proxy friendly, so jump on in. In this video, we're talking about Sp3ct3r's 3rd place finish in September with Ranar the Ever-Watchful. I'm joined in this episode by our mod and league commissioner, Bobby Z, and it turned out pretty great. Honestly, this deck really surprised me. Give me just a second to thank the patrons that are supporting us on our road to making this our full-time job, and the discussion will commence as soon as we're back. Let's go.
Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat.
Of the year of precons last year, this one's got to be one of the least built, least hyped.
Everyone hates Ranar. As soon as you pull Ranar out, and they're like, that's not Brago, put that crap away.
Right. Right. I actually glanced at it, and in my head, I was looking through your creatures, and I was like, wow, not a ton of ETB creatures. I wonder what he's flashing. I was like, shit, this is the foretell guy. This isn't even Brago.
Yeah. So it's a mix of ETB stuff, but also you're on the Spirit Tribal beatdown plan.
Right.
So, either people are gonna try and wipe out the board state, or do creature wipes, which is fine, because that's the most threatening thing a lot of people see. So they potentially will leave your teleportation circle, on the board, or they'll leave some of your other enchantments because they're just trying to wipe that stuff out. So you can still have all your ETB backup stuff, and you just have a lot of the flash protection effects that kind of give you a hand in surviving some of those wipes.
What is it like with this deck to have a single set from which you can pull foretell cards? Because I feel like a lot of people sleep on this commander because it's got the foretell keyword on it, and then they go to Scryfall and they search for foretell with a commander that's only blue and white, and you get back, how many results are we going to get back here?
I think there's
29
yeah.
And some of these are
they're terrible.
Some of these are freaking arena. Hang on. Game paper. Give me a second. 27. And then, there's some good ones up here at the top, especially for sorted by EDH rec rank. But as we get down to the bottom, I don't think we're playing this 3/6 Vigilant Cat for foretell 4.
Are you kidding me? He's the sleep. No, I'm kidding. No, never. Not at 1,000.
It pains me that they didn't make that Commander Esper. It pains me.
It would have been sweet in Esper, but it's one of those things that I think when you're playing in a league like this, you're trying to do something competitive.
Sure.
Politicking is super hard. Like you need to be good on your politics game, and you need to look not threatening. Running up with Ranar, running up with Galea, people are like, who are these terrible commanders? What are you doing?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're sleeper out of the gate, kind of.
Yeah, until week 2, when everyone's like, I played him last week. Don't listen to his crap.
For sure. Or Jake shows up and tells everybody to just attack you anyway, right? Oh no, right. Just me. No. No, just me. Okay. I'm looking at your creatures here. I don't think I've ever seen Ambitious Farmhand played. What is this card?
It's a 3rd ramp spell. Don't like the backside. You never use the backside. It's just ETB ramp. The deck, because you're on a dual game plan of hey, we want to do a bunch of flicker stuff, but we need to protect our board state and things. So you want to play at instant speed, but you can't. Right. So you need a lot of mana to do both.
Yeah, I see Knight of the White Orchid. I don't see, you didn't run that 4-drop. What is that, dwarf? Isn't it some dwarf that lets you ramp planes and also creates?
Yeah, he's right there.
Or something.
Stoic Farmer.
Oh yeah. This guy. There's another one. There's another guy too. But this guy was the better version, basically, and it also comes with foretell.
Yeah, he came with the deck. He wasn't the worst. It's weird to have a ramp card that you want your commander out first for, though, so it's kind of a little backwards, but gotta do what you do.
Over the course of the month, were you getting enough spirit creatures onto the battlefield with your shenanigans to justify cards like, especially cards like Supreme Phantom, right? Like this is just an Anthem. You got to be absolutely crapping spirits for this card to have any play at all.
I cut every Anthem that wasn't Drogskull at 3 mana got cut, like Empyrean Eagle and stuff. Drogskull only stuck around because he gives
it's hexproof the commander. I can see an argument for Drogskull. It gives, you get a residual +1/+1.
Exactly.
You also get the bigger thing that you care about, which is the hexproof. But when I saw cards like Supreme Phantom, that's where I was like, okay, I can't wait to talk to him about this one, because it looks like you tried to ride the line between the synergies instead of going all in on one. And, obviously it freaking worked. You placed 3rd.
Yeah. I mean, building the board state's easy. The fact that Ranar's thing is not only foretell that makes the spirits, it's exiling anything from the battlefield. So every time you're bouncing something, you make a spirit. Every piece of removal in the deck is an exile effect. So, you get, it's a 2-for-1. When you sword someone else's creature, not only are you removing a threat, you get a spirit too.
That is a very good secret. I mean, not a secret, but like read it fully. Whenever you exile one or more cards from your hand and or permanents from the battlefield, it does not say you control. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so you get, your welcoming vampire on the field. So now your swords is not only you remove something, you make a spirit, a body ETBs, you get to draw a card.
Value Town.
Yeah, I mean, the deck was basically Value Town City. Archaeomancer, 23-cent sleeper hit. Well, I think everyone knows Archaeomancer is phenomenally good.
Yeah, Archaeomancer gets a lot of play in these blink decks. I'm more surprised to see cards like Inspiring Overseer.
It's a better, there was the dwarf, I think.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That was, in the deck. And you just needed more card draw on a body.
For sure.
So that's cool.
For sure, that's the tough part when you line into those, those synergies. That's what you want. You want to not just lean on blue for good card draw, because obviously it's going to exist. You're not hurting for card draw in these two colors. But when you also really want to stick to those synergies, which I think is a good point about building decks in general, is you a lot of times want to go for the more synergistic play because you're going to get extra value off of it.
Yeah. One, it's more fun too, I think, but a lot of these cards too, like as you said, Inspiring Overseer, look at this card, Dumpster Fire. Who's going to pay any mana to remove that isn't incidental in a board wipe, right?
Yeah.
Like Seagate Oracle, look at 2 cards, put one in your hand. Huge. Not a single person touched it, drew 8 cards in a game.
Right. Well, nobody wants to use Terminate on Seagate Oracle.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the aggro to value is super low on these cards, whereas Displacer Kitten.
Yeah, talk to me about this one.
Who knows? It gets removed every single time.
it's that card.
It hits the board, it's dumb.
Like Seagate Oracle drew 8 cards, Ristic Study drew 0 cards.
Right.
Oh, it's one of those things.
That's
and I think funny. That's something, when you're playing these games, like, do you need to run this $30 card? Maybe not, because people know that it exists and they're going to work to get rid of it.
Did you ever get Deadeye Navigator soul bonded to Agent of Treachery?
No, I had to bond it to my Seagate Oracle because I was out of land. So I was doing 6 mana draw card. It was very exciting for that game.
Yeah, that's not bad either. I just didn't know. I mean, I guess I'm assuming since you're sitting here, that means that a giant hole to hell didn't open up and you fall in, which I think is what happens when a player successfully soul bonds Deadeye Navigator to Agent Treachery, is they just get immediately pulled down into the hell realm. But
I resolved both, but never at the same time.
So you're halfway there. Agent of Treachery will get you halfway there.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you get to play this card? Did it lead to any big moments? Cosmic Intervention.
It saved a board wipe. So that was nice. It's one of those things you get to foretell it for free. So it's a 2 mana, you can just basically survive a wipe that was coming, which it did.
I've heard a lot of people recently talking about how this card's a sleeper right now because, look at it, it's $2. And if it's the only card in your deck that's got foretell and you play it against the same people over and over again, they'll eventually learn it. But being able to, it's like Teferi's, right?
Yeah, I was picking up I was picking up copies of this card at $4. I thought it was worth more than $4. Yeah.
I think it's just because that 4 mana, like if this was just a 2 mana spell and foretell was off of here, I think that it would be wildly run. But
yeah, it'd be an all-star.
Just balance it. Yeah, honestly, like legitimately all-star. But at 4 mana, it balances out.
Yeah. Luckily, I kept trying to resolve Teferi's protection, but Jay kept countering the crap out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, luckily it doesn't exile that way, so I kept using Archaeomancer to put it back in my hand. Which helped me, I think, win the last game. I was able to establish like a pseudo small lock because I had a counter spell in the grave too. So I was just able to keep bouncing a counter spell back to hand. So I was, able to kind of police the board state or what was going on. So that was really helpful.
I've never seen this card. I'm sitting here reading it. 4 mana instant, exile all non-token creatures you control. Then you got what, a 50-50? A little bit better of a 50-50? To return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, or return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control, then exile them again, then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. This is insane.
So the floor is Cosmic Intervention.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Yeah.
And, the upside is, I'll get all my ETBs twice. Yes, please.
20. Yeah, I was counting. Yeah, so it's a better than 50% chance you get to exile them, bounce them, exile them again. That's cool.
Yep.
I really like that card. Artifacts, looking straightforward. Sort of Hearth and Home. This do any work for you?
It did a little bit of ramp. It wasn't crazy good, but you have enough evasive bodies with all the spirits that you're making that you can usually hit someone that doesn't have a flyer.
Yeah.
And then you're bouncing something with an ETB, again, Seagate Oracle or whatever. Reconnaissance mission, no ETB value whatsoever, but because you have enough spirits, you can just, get a lot of damage in.
So you ran the 4 mana. We got the 4 mana blinker, but we're not running Conjurer's Closet.
No, I didn't own it. / it's a little more expensive.
Sure. Yeah, and then, Reconnaissance Mission in a Spirits deck. I was running, one of my best decks of the year was my Millicent deck in January. I think it was a preseason. And cards like this in a Spirit deck, obviously Intangible Virtue, Cathar's Crusade. If you're running some sort of tribal token off your commander strategy.
Yeah, I think if you're on, like when we were on the $100 budget, Distant Melodies in a tribal deck, if you're in blue, is a sleeper hit. The card is so cheap and so good, like 4 mana drop, 6, 8,
Yeah.
Oh, is this the card that, I always recommend people take this out of their precons. So I'm the opposite way on this one. I don't personally like cards that they can be responded to and be nullified completely and just be a whiff. I really hate that. That's a personal play style thing for me. I'd rather something say you definitely draw 2 versus you might draw 6, you might draw nothing.
Yeah. It's performed better than I thought it was good because I'm in the same boat as you. I was like, screw it, let me play it for the $100 weeks. Drew 6 cards twice with it. And I was like, okay, well that feels pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely seeing ways that it could be excellent. I got to talk to you about this. You're on restriction. 30 lands, 33 including modal DFCs.
There's 33 lands.
There's 33 lands in this deck. You're grounded.
What am I grounded for? I run so much card draw.
Go find 3 cuts and put 3 more lands in here, and you can be off restriction.
Okay. Well, one is the Eldrazi Displacer, 100%. That card just is too much of an investment to put down.
Hang on. Let's talk about that. What would your cuts be at this point? Because this is still your 250 version, so we could at this point, just add and take away from this as we want. Where's Eldrazi? Oh, here it is. Let's see what this does. White and 2 for a 3/3 devoid. Ah, yes. Colorless mana and 2 to exile another target creature, then return to the battlefield. Looks sick for a deck like this.
Yeah, it's solid. It's definitely saved me bouncing some, not Bobby's, but other people's wireless, during the combat step, so we can not have to deal with that. But having not only because it needs to be a colorless pip to run that, it can't be anything. It's not 3 of anything. You have to have, a colorless mana in there. So, you better have your Nimbus Maze or whatever garbage land, utility land on the field, and it's 6 mana to get it going. So it's like, it's not bad, but that's where I would first do the cut. Ruin Ghost is a sleeper, man. This was going to be my other question for you, was Ruin Ghost. What do you bounce with it, or do you just get? I mean, this basically says pay 1, tap it, get a spirit. At minimum, you get a spirit out of it, right? Which is fueling your army. If Welcoming Vampires out, you get a spirit and draw land.
Yeah, which is draw.
But if you have 3 islands and Mystic Sanctuary on the battlefield, all of a sudden you're returning, whatever your best instant sorcery in your graveyard is.
The Salamander guy.
Oh, Amphimutineer, he's solid too. Yeah.
I love this guy because nobody really realizes, I don't think, because this card's not played a lot, 89 cents, as you can see. But this is a 4 mana, 3/3 exile any freaking creature that you want in blue. I don't care that they get a 4/3. And then it encores and 3 come back and you get to exile 3 creatures. I think it's when an ETBs exile up to 1 target non-salamander creature. Oh no, so you could just completely curb stomp 1 person, right? The way I'm reading this, is that correct? And exile 3 of their freaking creatures on the encore?
Yep.
Yeah, that's brutal. This card isn't played enough.
I just bounce it a bunch. It's an exile effect. Ranar sees it. We make more spirits. It's great. You bounce it as much as you want.
Yeah. This deck looks good, man. I had my toast burned by a Brago King Eternal deck in an early month of the season. And ever since then, I'm just super salty about all of the value that you get off of cards like, Loyal Warhound, Wall of Omens, just the additive value of flickering ETB creatures. And that's an ability you have out of the command zone. That's really strong.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, none of these creatures do you ever want to target. None of it is good enough.
Right. I don't want to kill Cloud Blazer.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No one
I don't need
to shoot this with any of that stuff,
still,
right?
But
so it's
still,
like,
I mean, 2 life, 2 cards. Flicker this once and you're in Value City. And this is the kind of one that, like you're saying, it'll just get flickered over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Until someone decides that they want to terminate it or something. Like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you're like, okay, cool. Moving on. Yeah. Or I'll just counterspell that. Now you wasted your terminate. And I counterspelled it.
Right.
That's the other thing too in the league is that the newer players, there's a bit of a learning curve in them running spot removal in their decks.
For sure.
Mystic Reflection, best defensive, offensive blue spell. Maybe not the best, but it is the most fun.
This is a card that Jake, I'm pretty sure, owns a couple suitcases of.
Yeah, I think he has like 800 copies of it that he bought.
Never really popped.
Yeah,
which is surprising. You see it and you go, that's OP.
I think he was buying them at like $4 a pop too. So
you see it and you say that's OP. Most people, I think, see it and they're like, that's a lot of text.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a good card.
It's a great card. I love it. Turning a Morphon into a 1/1 spirit feels good when it comes out of the commander zone.
Spectre, final thoughts. What would you change? What would you keep? Any final thoughts on Ranar the Ever-Watchful?
I'd say as your mana base gets better, you're running a lot more fetches and stuff.
Sure.
Sun Titan can come back in as you have more targets for it.
Okay.
That's a good ETB, blank value, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, I think Eldrazi Displacer was a little too much. Some of the ramp is okay. That Ambitious Farmhand isn't great. Maybe it's more rocks, maybe something like an Archaeomancer's map, because you do have ways to flicker artifacts, something like that. I think if you're trying to ride the line like this, though, I think this feels pretty good. The only other ways I would say to do it is just go all in, and either you're doing spirits or you're doing ETB stuff.
I got you. Yeah. And honestly, that is such a mindset for me when I go into building any commander, is like, what is my main line? I'm going all in on that. And then I'll kind of have a secondary turn off. It's like with a deck that I'll talk about of mine from the league this year, Tevish and Akroma. I had a primary strategy of Aristocrats, but I had one move I could pull, and that's what I would use a chroma for out of the command zone, was combine a chroma. I'm in black, so I can tutor anything. I pull a chroma onto the battlefield after I get Odric onto the battlefield. Odric gives all the tokens that I've been creating for my aristocrats deck the whole time, all abilities that are on the battlefield. A chroma gives them all +1/+, and it's like a final swing, But I always get so one-track minded on this is the strategy. That's what I'm going all in on. So it's cool to see a deck, take down third place in a league. That's a nice balance for a underplayed commander, quite honestly.
Thanks, man. I'd say to chat, please come join the Commander League. It's a ton of fun. If you can kind of come with whatever you want and you'll have a good time. If you want to be competitive, I would say play test your deck, know your deck as well as you can,
and ask to see some winners there. I mean, everybody will post their deck list. We unify all of our deck lists for the league on Moxfield. And so a lot of people are super willing to give you tips and tricks on your deck.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the fix my deck posts are going off. I feel a little better posting it and helping people now that I feel like I'm doing okay here.
Discord added that forum feature, and I was like, this is what we wanted. Thank you.
Yeah. That was amazing. Yeah. The forum feature is really nice.
Well, Spectre, I appreciate I appreciate the shout out for the league. You read that script I sent you perfectly, so thank you very much.
No. Not a problem. Yeah. So know your deck. Play tested a bunch. There's plenty of people play testing, looking for game. Shout out to that part of the Discord too. If you want to just kind of test, get to know what you're up to, get in some games, but be prepared to politic. Get to know people, talk it up, have some beers, have a good time. But I mean that I would have lost a few games had it not been for I'm not a threat. Look at that guy. Look at that Zyrex over there, man. He's just popping off, doing crazy stuff. I think we need to team up and kill him.
That's my favorite part of the game, quite honestly. That's why Jake, his meme is everybody kill Joel. Just kill Joel. Just don't even think about it, because we've played a lot of games where I was able to sneaky snake my way out of some shit and end up winning. Getting that one extra turn that's gonna help me win or whatever through diverting attention or making a deal or whatever.
I think my trademark move is the Jerry worm butt wiggle in the air, try to look as pathetic as possible, and it's nah, and then then I can come from behind and win.
And look, playing late in the pod, that's a strategy. I've seen Bobby weasel some games where he's just got a full ass hand. He plays one thing per turn, keeps 7, never presents a threat. People are like, well, I don't want to instigate, I'm not going to attack him. He's obviously doing nothing over there. And somebody's getting eliminated, and Bobby's coming out of the woodwork all ready to go.
Yeah, I'll go basic land, and then the temple to give you no maximum hand size, and then just sit there with just straight gas. And then I'll even take a turn off where I don't even play a land when I have 4 in my hand, just so people start to feel bad for you. And then no one attacks you, and then in one turn you just lay your hand out.
This is not commander advice, not financial advice, not commander advice. Nobody listen to Bobby.
If you draw Soul Ring in your opening hand, what turn
don't play it?
Ooh, you play it turn 3, so you can hit 6 on 4. Well, I like it. I like being able to get to 6 mana on turn 4, and so am I doing that math right? Yeah, turn 3 is 5, and then your 6th land drop. Yeah, that's when I would play it. There's no point in playing it on turn 1 unless you've got Command Tower, Soul Ring, Signet, in which case, if you do that, I think it's kind of like whatever that thing is you assemble in Yu-Gi-Oh! And you automatically win.
Oh, yeah, Exodia.
Thank you, Exodia.
Right, but we've all had it, and I think when everyone started playing Commander first, Soul Ring, turn 1, easy peasy. I'm on curve, this makes sense. But what it doesn't say, the hidden text on Soul Ring is take 10 damage. For the next 2 turns. Easily. It's oh, I hate this. Sandbag everything.
The first threat you played is getting aced. 100%. Look, Spectre, thank you very much. Appreciate you being on. Everybody claps for Spectre.